We asked Nigerians to share the stories of their mothers, the sacrifices they made for them, the journey of pain, love, devotion, and struggles made by our mothers to make us who we are today. They shared their stories with us. Thousands of entries, hundreds of interviews, and documentary across the country. 20 unique stories have been selected for us to learn from, appreciate, and celebrate. The sacrifices and devotion are real. Real people, real stories, real experiences. The emotional true life experiences being shared, narrated, and dramatized are simply captivating. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the most touching stories of our mothers. The Supermom reality TV show starts now.
Last week, we shared 2 extraordinary mothers with you on this show, and we asked you to make your choice for the potential Supermom. Nigerians have voted. The winner for last week's episode is...
my own mother has done a lot to make sure that I succeed in my own personal endeavors in life. She would rather be naked than see her child without clothes on his back. She would rather starve than see her child go hungry. She would prefer to be drenched by the rain than to see her child get wet. She'd protect him with her body and shield him from the rain. Now, through all these things, she never complains. And when I say these things, I'm not talking about a superhero or extraordinary human being that we see in cartoons or in comic books or in movies. I'm talking about extraordinary mothers who go through great lengths and make extreme sacrifices to make sure that their children get the best in life and ensure their happiness. My own mother has made a lot of sacrifices and a lot of assistance and help to make sure that I have achieved my dreams. She made sure that when I decided to make my change from dental surgery to music, I had everything I needed. She gave me moral support, she gave me emotional support, she gave me financial support to make sure that I achieved my dreams. Now I'd like to welcome you all to the Supermom's reality show, where real mothers with real sacrifices are celebrated. Now today we're going to take you on a journey as we celebrate 2 mothers who have given their best, sacrificed their lives and other things to make sure that their children get the best in life. Follow me on this journey as we celebrate 2 moms.
Today's episode of the Supermom reality show promises to be captivating as we celebrate 2 courageous mothers who gave their all to make sure their children lived a better life, despite the fact that at one point or the other, their husband stopped being a father to their children. They were deserted and neglected, yet they stood firmer and stronger for the sake of their children. We will be celebrating Mrs. Bessie Egbegbanwoye and Mrs. Bolanle Odusoya. Mrs. Bessie Egbegbanwoye is from Edo State. As a young girl, she wanted to be a nun. Being the first child, her father was determined to see her get married and start a family, which she eventually did when the pressure became too much on her from all sides. This 58-year-old widow is a trader and a mother of 5 children. Mrs. Bolanle Odusoya is from Ogun State. She is a retired nurse. Mrs. Bolanle Odusoya is 66-year-old and a mother of 5 children. Mrs. Bessie Egbegbanwoye's daughter, Dorothy, is a public relation officer in Benin City, Edo State. She gave us some reasons at our studio why she thinks her mother is a supermom.
My name is Dorothy Owome Egbegbanwoye. I'm from Edo State. I'm a civil servant. My mother's name is Bessie Omozele Egbegbanwoye, ni Izile.
I be one be mother or sister. My father said no. I be first daughter. I make her be follow missionary. My baptism name is Elizabeth. Commissioner wey senior my papa, na name me Bessie. When I say I no marry, my papa come dey vex with me. All of them. I follow mission for 6 years. And then they give me food and they put me for learning sewing. When I see say my father will love me say he no agree. One woman where we dey their house, where they house, where they go give my grandpapa food for specialists. Say this girl, why are you running for men? You this mature girl. I be say now, I be one follow mission, Kali Church. When I got home, I consider with this man wey dey worry me before Benin man. I tell my papa say I see person I go marry. My papa nearly shoot gun for all of them cause they happy. They marry me to this man. When I conceive, I can't say this man bring another woman.
You're welcome. Hey, just come here. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey.
You know go fit bring her come here.
Look, my friend, she's already here. She's already here. Come in, my dear. Don't move.
So, all the things where they talk, say you did. So now, so you did do abi?
Has it ever been a secret? Has it? Did I not tell you that I was going to bring my wife to her rightful place? Huh?
My husband. Eh? So all the time where I think I don't they make you happy. Now what do you want to do to me with this? Eh? Our marriage.
Take your hands off me.
Honey, please, can I go inside? Let's go inside and I want to breastfeed my child.
It's okay, my dear. It's okay. Huh? Can't you see the way she's behaving like a public latrine?
I tell my papa say, what is? I don't know this country. My papa say he got 3 words that me go feel where I make her marry. That means my papa can't depend me. They give me everything.
From the way I look at it, my mother is married to another person's. That is a man destined for another man. They married quite all right. Unknown to her, I am 4 months senior to the other woman's daughter. Unknown to my mother, my father had another woman outside. Even why he was marrying my mother. Then you can see my name Dorothy. When my mother gave birth to me and gave me Dorothy, the other woman had a baby and gave her Dorothy, telling my mother there is no other child before her own.
Why I can't continue saying I'm born senior child. I not get rest of my to pay money for my children. No.
Mommy, what do you buy for us?
Now orange, but I no go give you now, eh? Till I cook food when I go chop.
Mommy, our teacher said I should not come to school tomorrow because we have not paid our school fees.
You not tell your papa?
I told him I should go to my mommy.
Which kind of rubbish be that? Good evening, my husband.
It's okay, don't stop. Carry on. Say what's on your mind.
Good evening.
Is it that you cannot pay these children's school fees? That is your problem? Huh?
I fit pay, but you know say my business small. But I be your pikin now.
It's alright. Sit down there and wait for me to pay their school fees. Then we will know whose children they are. Huh?
But you dey pay my second children's school fees now. Waiting, Seth. Waiting I do you, Seth. Why you hate my children like this now?
I don't have time for this silly talk.
As they treated me, I said they treat my children. Not they like to give them money to buy something. Not they give anything. The one way that police way they here so. Not they give them anything to pay school fees. I go they manage. Go here and there. When if you see me go, now me was pass women way they there. They enter bush, buy garden credit. If I finish, I pay. He go tell me say if they go, Bini go receive. When he comes, go they give another. Well, he the money where I receive. Take and do this, I could take and do that. I go for you go carry. I can't be a mugu. for me to pay money for my children, I go dey struggle like a crazy woman. After some time, I say, how I go do this car? How I go do this one and reach? I look back, I look front. If I tell my people say that, they go say, I say, I can't dey manage. My mind just to that day, I be like crazy woman. I don't if I see money, I pay for this. If I see money, I pay for this. If I don't see the other one, I go sit down. Can't they do all like that? Before I guess it's as the thing be. I go do this. I go for where I go do this one. But the other one, they enjoy. I don't know what I say. I go say if we shall say. Ọ̀nà dòtò Mr. Oleleje. That means that apart will say, who sit down for your husband house, not gain it. Just dey manage. Anything where I take my money back, now go be my children. Their papa they not dey near them. Everything, no thing where my children enjoy for their papa own. If na radio or something that they pay, I manage now that one my children go look.
Mrs. Bessie Egbegbawonye could not take the maltreatment from her husband any longer. One day, she packed her things and her children and went to Lagos to live with her family. Mrs. Bessie Egbegbawonye was advised by her family to return to her husband's house for the sake of her children.
I don't understand. And the man not dey treat me well. Me to say na the rain we go fall, we go cut in that so it be. Come look here and just say, who marry for our family? You know they say may go back home again. I just settled down.
The problem she even had with her people was that she didn't leave my father. They didn't like the way she was being maltreated. And in their quarters, they have one belief that if you leave your husband, your daughters will find it hard to get a husband. That is their belief. For many days,
Mrs. Bessie slept outside with her children. Her husband's sister, who lives in the compound, advised her to move into an uncompleted building her husband was erecting. There she stayed with her children till her husband accepted her again.
My mother, when we got to Benin, we were not, allowed access into my father's house.
Send for you. Did I send for you? Eh? Go back to your people.
My husband.
Woman, go back to your people.
Please, I beg you. For the sake of your children, let us enter. Please.
Is it that you're deaf? You are deaf, right? Go back to your people. Leave this place, my friend. Leave this place.
When I come, allow me. I can't dey outside for 3 days, I be 4 days. My Lord, you can't do that. Suppose the time where I need the rain, I foresee pepper. Me with my children.
My mother stood within that 3 days. For that 3 days, she watched. With them were 4. Because it was when we got to Benin that he had 3 other children later. That I said 2 passed on. So she did not, for that 3 days, she didn't sleep. She watched over us. Being the first child, sometimes I would just open my eyes, I would meet her standing, fanning us. There were mosquitoes outside. There is a well before the 2 houses, one in the front, then the well before the other house. Like that, we were there for 3 days. Then I think other people came they waded into the matter.
One woman, now the sister born the husband. That one say, hey, sister, when I go there yet, this one not good at all. Can't give us food for them. Before people they talk, before he say, make me go enter the room where they never plaster. Go enter the room where they never plaster. Him with my children come enter the room where they no plaster. We can't dey there. No silly. Me with them can't dey there. I look up, I look down. I say if I come out now, me I go be a woman wey no wan stay for husband's house.
The Supermom Season 2, a celebration of our mothers.
When things became very difficult for Mrs. Bessie, she went to 3rd Junction in Benin City to sell her wedding ring. She used the money for her children's upkeep.
While I was still in St. Maragoreti, we were so hungry that she sold her wedding ring. We went to a Kiosa market. She sold her wedding ring to put food on our table.
I sold my 3rd Junction. Outside seller with my senior daughter. When she said my daughter can't finish secondary school, managed to finish secondary school, You want to enter university?
I have told you, I do not have money. I don't have money.
Daddy, but I saw Mama Rachel yesterday showing her friend to stop report for.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up your mouth! Look at her mouth. See how you're training these children? Huh? How you're training these children?
But now she talk now. You dey take care of my second with your children.
Look, you're wasting my time. You people are just wasting it here. Huh? I told you I don't have money. I don't have this money.
How we go do this one? If this one no better, all the suffer, they suffer. How can I do this? After one day, come tell me, say, Mommy, I say, he say,
yeah, let me just go and look for money. At least I can go to Italy and I don't know.
Italy? Oh, Salobua! God forbid! None of my pikin go live that kind of wayward life. Yeah?
I'm tired, Mommy. I'm tired. That is how I'm going to miss another time to be sure again.
You not go lose him.
Oh, because my daddy does not like me, does not care for me. Let me just go there. Let me go there and do something for my life.
say, my pikin, you want to go Italy to do what? Me, your mama, the thing we are not do now, you can't do. And they go church, it in a sin. My daughter, you can't go Italy. Instead of, for you to be a lawyer, to be a doctor, that's my solution. I can't carry all my clothes because now like this I think.
Mrs. Bessie Ekpegbanwoye did not want her daughter to have second thoughts about going to Italy, where so many young girls in Benin rushed to for prostitution. So she sold most of her wrappers to pay for her school fees.
Say, come on, now she can't do now. They enter bush, they enter market. The thing we are not sell before I go buy, I go make this, I pray for my God. God they help your children. Suppose God not they help your children. Who lock door for no open door when they break?
There was cholera outbreak in Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, where her daughter Dorothy was studying. Mrs. Bessie Ekpegbanwoye could boil water and carry it on her head, walk from Irua to Ekpoma to give it to her daughter.
I go carry wood, I make fire, I boil the water, I put her for candy rubber when it cold. I carry her for head, I cannot go give my pikin. Like Christmas they go, I can't they go.
With me, she trekked all the way from Irua to Ekpoma. So it was my neighbor who, it was when they were saying, who is this woman, that I saw that the person was my mother. I was in Alaji Momodu's house. Then she came in, she dropped the bucket of water.
One get fair on, come, tell her, say, your mommy, they come out. When you see me, you open my mouth, say, waiting. Say, waiting now, they come. I said, why they ask me? Say, na moto, I say, moto. If I see money, na moto, I go enter. I no come give you. I say, na leg. No ask me, no let them know. Na leg, I take come. You want call, tell them, say, na leg, I take come. Nobody do. The thing I take come now. Give her water now, so I can't take come.
This she did for 2 months.
Mama, you're the reason I'm singing this song. Every day they suffer for me like no other man. If I no job, you no good job, you provide for me. Yeah. Anytime daddy's gone, you strong. You the tidy, no be small, it no easy at all. You pick me up. Anytime that I fall, and when I dey cry.
Supermom reality TV show.
I made farm for Yokonom. My husband, I made farm there. The farm where I make, and the yam pick up yam where I buy. I borrow money to buy yam. That yam, say I'll go carry, I go Benin. When my pikin say they sick.
What do you like?
My leg is paining me.
No be you work I can't sleep yesterday.
No, it's paining me.
Come, stand up. Hey, what? Stand up. Hey!
the crop. Get up. Say no, get up again. Why not get up again?
Mrs. Bessie Egbogbanwoye took her son to several hospitals for treatment. When it became glaring, he was not improving.
Oh, the woman where my love. Now I go love the children. Go say because they sick, make it for now.
When I got to Idumebo, I met my brother's legs were swollen. He was crawling like a snake.
She was advised to try traditional medicine. At the same time, Mrs. Bessie borrowed some money to buy a truckload of yam to sell. It all got spoiled because she abandoned it to take care of her sick son.
She abandoned the money she bought, the pickup of yams she bought with a borrowed money, and went to a place at Isham. The place is called Idumebo. She spent 2 years and about 8 months there. The yams she bought with borrowed money got spoiled.
At the find money here and there. I can't be a beggar there. I can't be, me no know say I be like Chris person. I can't be a beggar. I go follow people, go farm. I go work. They'll give me money. Can't take buy food for them. If I took up, I go cook them. Go share them. If you die picking one shit, because if I born, I be picking at the big born. If you come here, me one shit, I go carry them. Carry them for my power because he big. I go carry them, they run, they go, shit, they go, they follow me, they go. Go put them there. If I call, I say I lick them, make the owner, they had not cost the shit for grand. I say, now me they put food for a mouth. They carry in one leg and one hand. Hand not the rich mouth. Now me they give him food.
She took him to a village where he was treated for 3 years, and Mrs. Bessie stayed all through those years.
She did all this sacrifice without even, she did them with that. She does not, you won't see it on her face.
When there was no job to do, she resorts to begging. Most people in the village thought she was crazy.
And I saw my mother, a woman came here and said, sorry, Bessie, when you were growing up as a young girl, men were coming, men were, jamming their heads over you. When I saw you, when you were talking to yourself, I thought you were mad. Sorry to say, my sister, I was moved.
After 3 years, her son was able to walk with the aid of a walking stick.
I get shame again. Means a person see my, I go see my mama once a time, the time when my pikin sick. He said, he with my man at the center, Pastor Christita. He said, Mama, this is your daughter. I said about 3 years ago, he be the grace. Mama said, no, now pikin called the sick. Now me no say, I don't know shame again. I mean, whether people they look me, I don't know. So far the thing where they find reach my hand. Me, I say they do it now. I say I take up picking. I not the take picking play. Cause who no get picking not be this what they did. Or if you know look after your child. So how you go enjoy your picking? Suppose I no go sell cloth that time we say no money will make you finish. I say my picking go where you say you go. Whether mind me for that day I know.
Mrs. Bessie Egbogbanwoye returned with him to Benin City. Mrs. Bessie persisted. She never forgot to give him his medicine. Today her son can walk, and she made sure he went to school. Presently, he's a teacher.
Ya to take me mama, ba fi mi go gbori ibe sin do bi sile o, ba fi mi go gbori. If I tell you now about my life, I go dey cry, me wey I not die, make una dey cry. Because I no get water for eye girl. I still be now. I dey beg my God. Still they beg my God, say, make you help me for the rest. Fine, we remain for my half of this man, or make it they don't die again.
Mommy, Bessie Omozeli Egbogbanwoye, my great mother, I just want to tell you that I love you so much. I appreciate you. I know that I cannot be you. I know that if I were you, I would have opted out of this problem. On behalf of my siblings, especially Osarime, who wants to make it in life to surprise you, I want to tell you that I love you more than you do.
Every day they suffer for me like no other man. If I no job, you know good job.
Alhaja Habibatu Mogaji. She's the mother of the former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. This Iyaloja of Lagos gave him all the love, devotion and attention any mother would give to a son. She knew the importance of education and made sure he had the best. She encouraged him to study abroad. Bola Tinubu would later proceed to the United States of America in 1975, where he studied first at Richard J. Daley College in Chicago, Illinois, and then at Chicago State University. His political career began in 1992, where he was elected to the Nigeria Senate, representing Lagos West constituency. Though it was short-lived, in 2009 he was elected governor of Lagos on the AD ticket. It's only a man who was nurtured by a mother who gave him her all that would be able to give the way he gave to his state.
Every day they suffer for me like no other man. If I no job, you know good job.
Mrs. Bolanle Odusoya's son, Mr. Olayemi Andrew Odusoya, gave us a glimpse of his childhood, highlighting the sacrifices his mother made for him and his siblings.
I'm Odusoya Olayemi Andrew. I'm a seasoned salesman and I'm from Ogun State. My mom is Bolanle Odusoya. She's from Osun State, formerly Osogbo, but now Osun State. She's 66 years old, and she's a retired chief matron in Lagos. She's a wonderful mom, and she's been with us all through this time past. It's a long story. It's quite challenging, but I'll do my best to relate as much as possible. To start with, we are 5 in number. I'm the third, and I have 2 elder brothers and 2 younger sisters.
Our marriage has been a success then when we got married newly. Along the line, because it's a business now, it goes on tour, even overseas country. Along the line, there was a domestic problem around 1986 that he had to leave us here because this is our own, he even built this place for workers, for factory workers, because he had a factory inside this building.
At a moment, then I was in secondary school and I was in the hostel. I was not around. At the very moment and the period, my dad took the action of taking us out of the duplex.
When he packed away, I was on night duty. He left us here. We were here. But later, when he went to a duplex, after 2 weeks, he invited us to the duplex just behind us. We are the first tenant there. It's a clean house, well furnished duplex.
Mrs. Odusoya had little quarrels with her husband. One day, after she returned from the office, she found the house empty. Her husband had not only packed his belongings, he also took all the furniture with him to live with a strange woman. Mrs. Odusoya was left with her 5 children and an unpaid house rent.
At that point, where we were being laid off from the house, everything, the gas cooker, the fittings, the rug, the couch, every sort of comfort were removed from the house. The only thing we had left were our personal belongings.
Mrs. Odusoya's husband took everything out of the house. They had to cook their meals with a camp gas with tiny flames, which takes longer hours to cook their food. Mrs. Odusoya would sit around the pot waiting for the food to get cooked while her children cry of hunger.
Like sardine, we just take bread and put something with matches, the camping gas. We were using it to prepare food. He left us there for almost 3 weeks before the landlady said he doesn't think that I'll be able to afford the rentage that my husband has left. So I have to find my way.
After 3 weeks of living that way, the landlord came to tell her the rent was up. She had to move out of the duplex with her children, living with friends for a while till she was able to rent a 1-room apartment where they all moved into.
That was when I went to a nurse, and from there I went to a room. Somebody living in a duplex. I went to a room. So, but in the process of the education of the children, he is wealthy, he has the money to send them to school, but sometimes when they go to him to ask for money, he tell them, go and meet your mommy. I know definitely she will get you money. Later I will pay her. I don't have choice, because then, even though the children were growing up nicely, they grew up in a very comfortable home with their father always around them with me, with joy and everything. So these children, they wanted to be downcast. I just summoned up courage. I said, no, don't let that one affect you.
Mrs. Odusoya's first and second son gained admission into higher institution at the same time. She was very happy.
The time my children received admission, because they are not dull children, they are at least average. The first son wanted to enter university, but he couldn't gain admission to the university. But along the line, the second one gained admission to OSU then. And at the age of 17, to know how good they were then, the first one entered the Laro.
She was able to take responsibility in terms of my school.
Along the line, there was no money. When we asked for money at the very right time, he won't give that money out. But I will look for money. No way I will look for money, whether to borrow from my colleague or from friends. I will just borrow and repay it back. I was just struggling.
She sold all her gold jewelries to friends to be able to meet up with their school fees.
Later, during the time the boy was in OSU, that second one, the other one was doing well. The second one too was doing well. But along the line, anytime he makes money, it will be the time they want to do a test or one test or the other. The boy will come home to ask for money. And I will send for their father. The father will say, he has no money. He said, there was a time I was fed up. I just called the boy. I said, please, you will have to wait. Let your brother finish. When he finishes, I will carry on with him. The boy just burst into tears, started shouting, saying, Mommy, help me. If only you can sell your things, your gold, your everything. Then I had gold, because I was living with a neighbor who is a lawyer, that she goes out. My own nature of work doesn't allow me to go out like that, but she will tell me, buy this thing. If she wants to buy, she will just show me, buy it. You have the money to buy it. In fact, that time, during the period my husband was rich and he was in love, really in love. He gives us money, he gives us food allowance, he takes care of us. He doesn't take my salary, he doesn't know how I spend my salary, so I was saving. So that one helped me for the children, to help the children. But when I asked the boy to stop that, is when the Palestinian brother finishes, he will carry on. He said, no, Mommy, I even want to go further. I will read until I get my PhD. I said, how will I do it? He said, Mommy, you can sell anything you have. I said, you know, I don't have clothes, but I have gold. I said, yes, gold is precious. I said, I will sell it for your sake. So one of my colleagues that always traveled to Saudi then, I just gave the gold, everything I had, gave it to her. I said, I don't wear it. My son wants to go to school. I can't buy him. He said he wants to read. Well, I asked him to stay at home. I even told him to go and learn handwork. He said, no, Mommy, he wants to read. He wants to read. So I volunteered. I sold every gold that I have without even telling anybody. I didn't tell any of my sisters that I'm going to sell my gold. I just gave it to the nurse because they all love me. And the nurse sold it at good price.
Our dad was just there, and he was not attending to issues per se. And she strived, she took her best, did her best, borrowed money, even did some commitments. Sometimes she doesn't even eat. She will tell us that she's fasting, and she's not fasting, not to compete with us in terms of the meal at home. And she was able to do all this so that we can get the best.
Along the line, because of money, this boy had to leave OSU. And the third level, the third year, I wept.
Maybe I should drop out of university so that you can take care of my younger brother. But Mommy, can't we look for other ways?
There are no other ways. I've sold all my gold jewelries. Everything. But not in my lifetime would any of you drop out of the university. I'd rather sell my properties.
Then maybe we should go to Daddy for help now. Daddy does not even care if we go to school or not. I can't afford to stop school now. What if I can't have any money when there's admission for me?
Don't worry, all will be well. Don't worry. This is just a passage. We'll pass through.
Because he said he's brilliant, but no money. No money to buy book, no money. I tell him to borrow book to do all these things. Along the line, I couldn't cope again. So he came home, he was weeping. When he came, I said, what will I do now? He said, Mommy, I'm still going to take another jam. I said, another jam? That is money. Then if you take another jam, which school? He said, Mommy, anyone, better I prefer Ibadan. Because I have my senior sister, the one I followed, she's a nurse. And she resides in Oshogbo. That at least if he needs any food stop, you can quickly go to Oshogbo. And she said, no, don't let us rely on anybody. Let me continue to struggle.
Mrs. Odusoya sold her car to be able to pay for her children's upkeep and school fees. Because she was desperate for money, she sold it at a cheaper rate.
But the truth about it is she's been a supportive mom all through.
Even my second son, when he got to University of Ibadan, and he finished the first course, he said he's going to do his master's. I said, you this boy, why don't you pity me? Go and work and use that money to train yourself. He said, Mommy, help me. You just help me. You will reap the fruit of your labor. So I said, okay, I will, by God's grace.
Mrs. Odusoya escorted her son to the bus stop. He was traveling to Ibadan, where he schooled. Her mind was not at rest. As soon as she went home, she prayed for her son's safety.
He came for money. I think it was 10,000 I gave to him. As he was going, because that day I wasn't happy. As he was going late. I said, don't go this time. Let it be tomorrow. He said, Mommy, you know, I've missed lecture because of this again. This master's I'm doing. Nobody will tell me anything unless I hear it. So I said, okay. I just saw him off to the gate. I was looking at him. He was on Okada. I was looking at him. You know, I don't know that something bad will happen that day.
That night, she was informed about her son's involvement in an auto crash. She rushed out of the house, walking down the road, ready to walk to the bone healer's house where her son was rushed to for treatment, till a neighbor saw her and offered to drive her there.
She dropped from her car and she came to me and said, Mommy, you are wearing the wrong side of your clothes. I said, wrong side? Don't worry. Please, it's an emergency. He said, Mommy, go and change. I said, I won't change. I'm going. Then the lady just entered. They said, come in. I said, don't worry. It's the junction. I'm going.
And it was also a challenge. Immediately, they told me I was in university. I came with a cousin of mine to see him. At that time, the orthopedic hospital, they were on strike.
So, fortunately, when I arrived there, I saw a colleague of mine. We worked together in another maternity. He just said, my sister, what are you looking for? I said, emergency. That my son had an accident and he had broken femur and I need your assistance. But fortunately, I won't begin to write all sorts of prescription that is going to undergo operation 2 times without even seeing. I say, okay, have you agreed? They say, but we have patients that we sent home that we are going to take in those patients first before any other person. So my colleague just rose up. I say, so you cannot do anything for our own colleague, a colleague of ours, the son. You want the son to lose the leg? You want the leg to be cut off? Because if it's rotten to be cut off, I say, Lord, how will my son be without leg? So I started weeping. And the doctor just said, okay.
We have to operate on his femur as soon as possible, otherwise.
God forbid. Doctor, please, let's do this operation as soon as possible.
But we need money for it.
Doctor, please. She's not of our home. Let's start the operation first.
We are all aware it doesn't work that way.
Doctor, please, I'll look for the money. I'll look for the money. Please don't let my son die. Please.
Stand up.
Please.
Stand up.
Please.
We do what we can. We do what we can.
Mrs. Odusoya borrowed from several people till she had the money needed for her son's surgery.
Becky, God's name. Don't even look at me. Look at God. My son is lying helpless in the hospital. Please let me talk to your husband. If you can just lend us some money. Just let me. I just want to get Kenny's health, please. Let me talk to him, please. I can't afford to lose my son, please. Please.
My friend, don't cry. Sit down. I will talk to my husband on your behalf. I'm not promising you anything, though.
Please, make him understand that I can't afford to lose my son. Please. He's your son too. Please.
But all along, I was able to get the money for the operation. And by the time they were planning for 2 operations, another doctor just came in and said, no, this operation should be done once. Why should you waste money? Let's do it like they left it like that. Because I've been praying. I said, Lord, why will it get 2 operations? And we need to donate blood.
Mrs. Odusoya's son needed blood transfusion for his surgery. She decided to give him her own blood because she did not want her son to be transfused with contaminated blood.
I said, let me donate my blood, take my blood. Fortunately, we are of the same group, all of us. So they took a pint of blood from me, I will donate that blood. So when I go to the hospital, I just told them in the lab, I said, please, I've not taken anything, but I've got Maltina with me. They said, okay, mommy, take it. Why do you want to donate your blood? I said, I want to donate my blood because I don't want my blood, my son to take HIV blood, number one. I want it to be my blood. We are the same group. They've taken it. I know my group and I know the group of everyone. And I'm a universal donor. So I say, I'm ready to donate a pint. I say, I'm not doing anything with blood again. I don't need it. I don't measure. So they say, okay, mommy, lie down. The first time in my life, when they started, I felt it. But I relaxed. And I see my blood going like that. They took my blood. They took the blood from that same son of mine that is going to be operated. And this my son, Olayemi, that came for your interview. And along the line, I was praying. My son came out successfully. Along the line, my first daughter was admitted in another hospital. I was running between these two hospitals. When I leave this hospital, I go to that same hospital. But I just asked for the strength of God, and God gave me the strength to be able to do all these things. And at last, they all came out well.
Today, her daughter lives a better life than most children with her kind of problems.
One day, with all these problems that is confronting me. And I always tell God to cover my nakedness because there are problems and there are problems.
I never see Pekin with a love like me. I never see Pekin with a love. Emi o ti rí ọmọ tí wọ́n fẹ́ràn bí èmi. Mama, you're the reason I'm singing this song. Every day they suffer for me like no other man. If I no job, you no good job, you dey provide for me. Yeah. Anytime daddy's gone, you strong, you dey tidy.
Supermom reality TV show.
But we still love her and we pray for her. But thank God she's been able to take care of us and give us the basic needs and education that we are. And we are somebody today in the society.
Like no other man. If I no job, you no good job, you dey provide for me. Yeah. Anytime daddy's gone, you strong, you dey tidy, no be small, no easy at all. You pick me up. Anytime that I fall, and when I dey cry, you dry the tears from my eyes. Anytime that I fall.
My advice to other mothers is that they should first believe in the Lord, their God. Let them tell God about all the problems in their life and their children. And they should lead their children in the way of the Lord so that they will not derail by the time they grow up.
Supermom reality TV show.
There is no doubt in my heart that you guys have enjoyed today's show. You know, to see these women go through so much for their children. You know, my heart, goes out to them because at the end of the day, when you make a sacrifice for someone you love, it is one of the greatest things on earth, and the rewards are limitless. Now we've come to the most important part of the show, where you, the viewers, decide which one of these two moms will make it to the next stage of our show, Supermoms. All you have to do is text the name of the mother which you would like to see on the next stage of Supermoms to the short code 33070. That's 33070. You text the name of the mother you would like to see on the next stage of Supermoms. Now you better start texting now because I'm basically going to send my vote right now. Till we come your way again, this has been another emotional, heartfelt, and interesting episode of Supermoms. Catch you next time.
Supermom Season 2, a celebration of our mothers.
Every day they suffer for me like no other man. If I no job, you no good job, you dey provide for me. Yeah. Anytime that is gone, you strong. You the tidy, no be small, it no easy at all.